Here we are. It's live now.
It's live now?
Hola.
Okay. Good
Hola, buenas
afternoon.
tardes a todos. Espero que estén muy bien. Gracias por permanecer conectados. Estamos en nuestro Admissions Day, un evento especial para que ustedes puedan aplicar sin falta a los programas de University Canada West. En este webinario tengo el gusto de presentarles a Gaby de la O de University Canada West y a Colby MacLeod de Admissions Teams de University Canada West, nuestro invitado especial para que ustedes puedan iniciar su aplicación cuanto antes. Hello, good afternoon. Thank you, Colby, for being here. It's my pleasure to have you here. This is our Admissions Day, and we are more than happy to hosting this event with you. So thank you very much for accepting our invitation. Hi, Gaby.
Hi, Vio. Hi, both. Thank you for having me here. Gracias, Vio. Yo estaré trabajando aquí como traductora de Colby. Colby forma parte de nuestro comité de admisiones, de manera que, chicos, justo tenemos miembros de la universidad aquí. Okay, so I just explained that Colby, you're part of the university, you're part of our admissions team, and I'm going to be translating everything that you say, so students that don't feel that confident in English can understand everything that they need to know for they to start applying now that it's the admissions day. Okay, so you can share a screen and you can start whenever you want.
Perfect. Let me see if I can get this going for us.
Yeah, and
hold on 2 seconds.
Yeah, don't worry.
Is that working?
I don't think so. You can share screen. In the lowest part, you will find a little monitor screen with a plus sign. So you just press it and you can see it.
I thought I was, but let me see. So start sharing, share screen.
Okay, yeah, I don't think it's working.
Hold on, I'll try sharing from the first screen. I've got dual monitors. It could just be a tech issue.
Yeah, don't worry. Either way, I can try to download your presentation so I can share it if it's not working. So don't worry. Sorry, perdón chicos, estamos teniendo problemitas técnicos en compartir la pantalla, pero en nada va a quedar. Ok.
I will let you know if I'm able to see your screen.
Sí, porfa, porque creo que no está funcionando. Ok. So, don't worry, guys. Perdón, chicos, estoy tratando de descargar la presentación para poder mostrarla. Como pueden ver, este es un evento en vivo. Así no tienen la menor duda de que sea evento en vivo y de que justo...
Maybe while that's happening, I'll just introduce myself. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Colby. I am the Associate Registrar for Admissions at University Canada West. I've been in this role for about 2 years now, but I have over 5 years of experience in admissions, and that's just in Canada, and then add about another 5 years that I had in admissions in Australia. So quite experienced working for universities and the admissions process, and particularly also trying to admit international students and some of the different steps that people like yourselves have to go through, not only to apply for another an institution, but also to apply for an institution in another country. So lots of experience. Thank you for having me today. I'm going to give a short presentation, and then I can also be available for questions either during this webinar or via email after the presentation as well.
Excelente, chicos. Entonces, Colby forma parte de nuestro equipo de admisiones, tiene varios años ya en los procesos de admisión, tanto en University Canada West como en otras instituciones, de manera que conoce perfectamente cuáles son los sistemas que se tienen que llevar a cabo y las equivalencias en cuestión de México. Entonces, él está abierto a cualquier pregunta al final del evento, si gustan. Vamos a tener un espacio de preguntas y respuestas. Pueden escribirlas en español, pueden escribirlas en inglés. Yo con mucho gusto voy a traducir. Ya se descargó la presentación, de manera que ya la puedo compartir yo. Colby, I'm going to be the one sharing the screen. Every time that you need me to change slide, just let me know.
Not a problem. We can probably just go to slide 2 then in the interest of time.
Okay, perfect. So here we are.
Okay, I can't see it, so I'm just going to assume that it is sharing. Okay, so at University Canada West, we are a business institution. So we have 4 programs currently on offer, all focusing in areas of business. We have 3 undergraduate programs, starting with an Associate of Arts, which is a 2-year program, and 2 4-year bachelor programs, the Bachelor of Arts and the Bachelor of Commerce, and then the 1 postgraduate program, a Master of Business Administration, which is about 1.5 years in duration. Because they're all focused in business, they do have the ability to ladder into one another, but of course, depending on what your current education and qualifications are, you might want to obviously be starting anywhere from any program, or you may even want to start lower, and not continue, and that's perfectly fine as well. But this is essentially what our programs are and how they work with each other.
Perfecto, chicos. Entonces, en University Canada West somos una universidad enfocados en negocios, donde tenemos tanto programas de pregrado como nuestro Associate of Arts, nuestra licenciatura en Comunicación Empresarial y nuestra licenciatura en Comercio. En cuanto a programas de posgrado, tenemos lo que es nuestro MBA o Maestría en Administración de Negocios. Ustedes pueden iniciar sus grados de estudio desde el Associate e ir avanzando, digamos, Associate, después tomar una licenciatura y después tomar el MBA, o bien pueden ingresar a cualquiera de los programas de manera independiente, de acuerdo a como a ustedes se les acomode.
Thank you. Oh, I can see the presentation now. Excellent. Okay, so we'll start with the 3 undergraduate programs, and they have a slightly different admission standard to our postgraduate program. When we talk about our undergraduate programs, the ideal profile is someone who has obviously completed high school and may or may not have additional post-secondary education. But ideally, it would be in a field of study that is different to the program that you're applying for. So we have 2 arts-related programs, obviously the Associate of Arts and the Bachelor of Arts, and we have the Commerce as well. So even within the undergraduate programs, there is a selection for you to choose a different focus area to apply for a program at UCW. For the undergraduate programs, we are looking for a grade equivalent of a 2.00 GPA, which is about a C average. And of course, we want that minimum high school completion, but if you have done post-secondary education, such as an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree, then that's fine as well. We are an English-speaking country and an English-speaking institution, so we do require a certain level of English proficiency. We do accept many forms of English proficiency, but the most common, particularly for applicants from Mexico, would be submission of an IELTS, where we need a 6.5 minimum. And the other most common method would be coming through a English second language pathway program. And we do have a partner school, many partner schools actually, but a very popular one in Vancouver as well, called the Language Gallery. We can do an ESL program with them, and that meets our English proficiency requirement. Even if you don't meet the minimum requirements, particularly, you didn't quite finish high school, or perhaps you didn't get the CGPA, we do still consider other people for our programs at UCW. And in that case, we are looking for other aspects about your application that would show that you could be still be successful in the program. and so I don't want people to feel discouraged just because they maybe don't have the grade requirement or don't have the qualification requirement. I would say that please reach out to us, ask your questions, let us know what your education and qualification history is, and we can give you better advice about whether we think you're appropriate for a program or not.
Excelente, chicos. Entonces, iniciamos con el perfil de nuestros estudiantes para pregrado, que son nuestros programas de Associate of Arts y las 2 licenciaturas que tenemos. El perfil ideal es que sean un estudiante que se ha graduado de la preparatoria y en cuestión de educación superior, puede ser que tengan algún grado de educación superior que no se haya terminado, que haya quedado trunco, o incluso podría llegar a ser hasta una licenciatura, siempre y cuando sea de un grado de estudio distinto al que van a estudiar ahora. Para poder aplicar es necesario que cuenten con su certificado de preparatoria, que necesita tener un GPA mayor a 2 puntos, estamos hablando a un promedio mayor a 7 en cuestión de México, y necesitamos también tener la cuestión del idioma. En cuestión del idioma, como somos una institución de habla inglesa, necesitan tener lo equivalente a un IELTS 6.5 académico con un mínimo de 6 en la banda de escritura, o bien el equivalente en TOEFL o en Duolingo, que serían 110 puntos. También tenemos el método de acceso por parte de un pathway, que es tomar un curso de idioma con alguna de las instituciones hermanas que tenemos, que justamente fue la plática anterior que tuvimos, la de TLG, o bien nuestro programa de University Access Program, que es nuestro curso de inglés complementario. Ahora, por favor, si ustedes no cuentan con todos los requisitos, no se desalienten. Siempre es posible que podamos revisar su perfil para ver si es posible que apliquen cuando nos demuestran que tienen aptitudes en el grado de estudio que les interesa.
Esto es excelente, Gaby. Voy a preguntar a Colby, ¿qué otros exámenes aceptan aparte de IELTS o el Pathway o the Language Gallery? I would like to ask you what exams do you accept instead of IELTS or ECL Pathway or the Language Gallery? What are the options?
Yeah, sure. So we accept other standardized tests as well. So like I said, IELTS is the most popular, but we do accept CAEL, C-A-E-L, which is a Cambridge test. We accept Duolingo, which is also quite popular. Because it's something that's relatively faster in terms of booking, and it's a cheaper test as well. We accept Pearson's, otherwise known as the PTE, but once again, like IELTS, it has to be academic. And we accept TOEFL as well. So any of those tests that we do accept, and all of these tests and their requirements are on our website. So if you go to the website and you go to the page on English proficiency, it does list each of these tests and the scores required.
Perfecto. Aceptamos diversos tipos de exámenes de idioma, como puede ser el IELTS académico que les mencionábamos, el Duolingo, que sería el examen, la verdad, más accesible económicamente. También aceptamos lo que es el TOEFL tradicional, el TOEFL IBT. Aceptamos examen Pearson, que también debería de ser la cuestión académica. Y es posible que puedan revisar todos nuestros niveles necesarios de acuerdo al examen, tanto en el website o mi recomendación con su asesor educativo de Mundo Joven, que dependiendo del examen que ustedes tienen, podemos revisar la equivalencia y si es válido o no.
Claro que sí. Ustedes pueden acercarse, chicos, los que nos están escuchando y los que nos están viendo, a nuestros asesores expertos de Mundo Joven Estudios en el extranjero para que revisemos cuál es la mejor opción de examen que van a presentar a ustedes, para que veamos los requisitos y el proceso de aplicación. Continuamos, Gaby.
Hi, Colby, you can go with postgraduate.
Perfect. Okay, so we'll move on to postgraduate admissions. So we currently have the one program, the Master of Business Administration. Very similar in terms of what we require, except the grade requirement is a little bit higher, where we need a CGPA of 3.0, which is equivalent to a B average. And English proficiency is exactly the same. And with the MBA as well, we tend to look for an additional, we tend to look for what is your business experience and your business skills. And that can be through a combination of your education and or your work experience. For people who don't have any business experience or have limited business experience, we do have the foundation pathway program as well. So it doesn't matter necessarily what your background is. In fact, the majority of our applicants do not have a business background. They're looking to add an MBA to their undergraduate degree to improve their career prospects.
Excelente, chicos. Entonces, respecto a las admisiones para estudiantes de posgrado, que es nuestro MBA, son bastante similares a los requisitos que se necesitan para programas de pregrado. Estamos hablando de que es el mismo nivel en cuestión de inglés, la misma selección de exámenes, el mismo proceso si es con parte de una escuela Pathway. Y en cuestión de estudios, necesitamos que cuenten ya con una licenciatura, ya que deberán de presentar el certificado de la licenciatura, o sea, el título, y deberán de tener un transcript, un promedio de GPA de 3 puntos para la entrada directa. El GPA de 3 puntos, estamos hablando de que es una equivalencia a una calificación 8 en México. Si tu promedio es menor, deberás de entrar por medio de nuestro curso propedéutico. Ahora, otra parte importante que deben de mostrar es el currículum, ya que también buscamos que cuenten con habilidades laborales ya en los negocios. Ahora, si no tienes experiencia profesional, tampoco pasa nada. Lo que sucede muchas veces es que puede ser que no tengas la experiencia en cuanto a licenciatura, pero cuentes con la experiencia a nivel laboral, a nivel ya trabajo. De manera que esto también te puede ayudar, ya sea para entrada directa, o recuerden que tenemos nuestro curso propedéutico especialmente diseñados para todos aquellos estudiantes que no cuentan con las bases, pero que quieren estudiar el MBA para poder respaldar su carrera, para poder tener un mayor conocimiento y para poder acceder al mundo de los negocios.
Okay, and so this is what I consider to be the most important screen, because I can talk as much as I want about, you know, GPAs, a 2.0 GPA and a 3.0 GPA, but I think it's really important for people to see what does that actually mean in my education system. And so we at UCW, we use this following table in terms of comparing grades in Mexico to what grades in Canada would be on a 4.33 GPA scale. And so I think this makes it quite simple for people to understand. So when we're talking about our 3 undergraduate programs and a C average equivalency, in Mexico, we're looking for an average of 6.5 or higher. And then when we're looking for a B average equivalency, we're looking for an 8.0 or higher on the Mexican grading system. Even if you want to apply for the MBA and you're below an 8.0, that's still fine. And the same for if you want to apply for an undergraduate program and you're below a 6.5, we would just consider you under a discretionary admissions category, which I can talk about in the next slide.
Perfecto, chicos. Entonces, esta que pueden ver aquí es una tabla de equivalencias de los grados de conversión en cuestión de calificación. Como saben, no es lo mismo el grado de calificación en México que en Canadá. Entonces, es una conversión muy sencilla que ustedes pueden tener. Los que están marcados en rojo, recordemos que es para el programa de Undergraduate, ya sea el Associate o las licenciaturas, necesitan tener un GPA de 2.0 mínimo. Estamos hablando de que mínimo es un puntaje de 6.5. Lo ideal es que tengan una calificación mayor. En cuanto a posgrados, estamos hablando de un GPA de 3 puntos, que sería una calificación de 8 mínimo. Ahora, si ustedes tienen un grado menor en GPA, pueden aplicar al programa, pero se hará de una manera condicionada, por así mencionarlo, que será lo que veremos en la siguiente presentación.
Okay, so when it comes to discretionary admissions, this is a category specifically for people that don't meet the standard academic requirement, because we do understand there's many qualified individuals out there who would be appropriate for our programs, but their past academic achievement and qualifications don't quite meet what we normally ask for. We admit many students each year who come under discretionary admissions, and many of them show to be successful in the program that they're studying with us as well. So this is a very special category for us, and particularly for me. I do like this category because I really think it does give opportunities to individuals who might not otherwise be considered by other institutions. When we're looking, so this is really, like I said, once again, if you don't have the minimum GPA, these are some of the other things that we could be looking for. So, you know, if we ask for a 6.5 for an undergraduate program, you know, how close to the 6.5 were you? Just because you're, you know, you average a 6.2 or 6.3, 6.4, for example, the fact that you're only just below what we're asking for is a positive indicator that would mean that you're more likely to still be approved for an undergraduate program. We also take into consideration more recent education than older education. So for example, if you've done a bachelor's degree and your GPA was below the 8.0, but if a lot of your low grades were completed in the first half of your bachelor degree, and you actually, if we were to only look at your final year of your bachelor degree and you were achieving above that 8.0 on average, then once again, that goes very strongly in your favor that we would still approve you for our MBA program. We often look at how many courses that you've passed. There's a difference between someone who is always passing their courses to someone that has quite a few fails in their courses as well. So we understand that someone might be achieving a B- average, for example, but if they're passing every course and not failing everything, once again, this is a really good sign that you're going to be successful in our MBA. And then sometimes we also look for whether you have high achievement in courses that are related to the program that you're applying for. This is really good for people applying to undergraduate programs. I've approved many applicants who want to come to our Associate of Arts program. They have a low GPA or low average score, which is primarily because of their maths and or their science courses. But because our Associate of Arts is humanities and social sciences, and we can see on their high school transcript that they've got A's and B's in these courses, once again, we admit them because we know they're going to be successful in the AA program because it doesn't have that math and science courses behind it. We can also look at work experiences, and this can be for whether you're applying for an undergraduate or the MBA program, you know, because we're looking for a level of professionalism and maturity. And this could be not just paid work, it could be internships, it could be volunteering, and it could also be community involvement.
Perfecto, chicos. Entonces, existe también la parte condicional de admisión en caso de que no cumplas con los requisitos que mencionábamos del GPA en la slide anterior. Aquí se toman en cuenta diferentes factores, especialmente porque sabemos que puede ser que hayas tenido algunos malos ratos en tanto tu licenciatura como tu preparatoria. Algo que tomamos en consideración es qué tan cerca del GPA necesario te quedaste. Ejemplo, si es un programa de pregrado y no sacaste el mínimo de 6.5, pero tuviste un 6.4, un 6.3, obviamente habla mucho más a favor a que hubieras tenido un puntaje mucho menor. Lo mismo en cuestión del bachelor. También tomamos en consideración cuál fue el GPA de tu último año de estudios. Es muy distinto que probablemente tus primeros años de la licenciatura o de la preparatoria quizá te costó un poco más de trabajo y por eso pudo haber bajado tu promedio general. Pero si en tus promedios finales de los últimos terms tuviste buenas calificaciones, esto ayuda muchísimo. También el número de materias que pasaste en comparación con el número de materias reprobadas, así como si también tuviste unas calificaciones altas en grados de estudio que sean relacionados a lo que vas a estudiar. Ejemplo, si vas a estudiar un MBA, pero en tu licenciatura quizá tuviste bajas calificaciones en cuestiones de ciencias, cuestiones, no sé, química, anatomía, pero tuviste buenas calificaciones en cuestiones de economía, obviamente esto influirá muchísimo para que también pueda ser aceptado. También nos basamos en experiencias de trabajo, por ejemplo, en tus trabajos anteriores, en internships que hayas hecho, en prácticas, programas de becario, voluntariados, apoyo de la comunidad. Todo esto puede brindar un extra en cuestiones condicionales de admisión. Esto es una gran ventaja que tiene University Canada West porque da la oportunidad de que puedas estudiar tu programa, aunque muchas instituciones quizá, como no cumples con los requisitos, te dirían no. Nosotros damos esta oportunidad siempre y cuando es condicionada y también dependerá mucho cómo es tu desarrollo dentro de los programas ya.
So this slide only applies to people who are applying for the MBA program. So as I mentioned previously, we do have a preparatory program for applicants who do not have a sufficient business background. There are 3 courses, and these are completed in term 1. And then obviously once they are passed, that you then move on to the regular courses of the program. They cover 3 areas. So the first one looks at your academic and business writing. The second course looks at your quantitative mathematics, which is the fancy way of saying statistics. And the third course looks at your economic understanding and your economic knowledge. And so when we're reviewing anyone for the MBA program, we are first looking to see whether we think you're appropriate for a postgraduate master's degree program. Everyone who is admitted, we then actually look at, well, what is your level of business knowledge? And so we look at through your CV and maybe any other work documents that you might have or employment-related documents you might have, and we look at your transcripts to see, do you have any experience or knowledge in these areas? People that are covering most of what is taught in these courses will be able to go into the MBA directly, and people with limited business experience or knowledge will be placed into these courses. I will say, I know sometimes people don't like having to do additional courses because it is additional time and it is additional money to your program. But the intent of the foundation courses is to really give you that foundation knowledge required so that when you go into the MBA program, you have the knowledge, you have the prior knowledge needed to be successful. I find a lot of applicants, once again, because they don't want to spend the time and money, kind of, grit their teeth a little bit with foundations, but once they actually start studying it, we get a lot of positive feedback from our students that have to do this, and they do show to be successful once they do the program.
Excelente. En este slide de lo que hablamos es del MBA Foundation, que es el curso propedéutico para el MBA. Recuerda que a este curso deberás ingresar si es que no tienes la licenciatura en áreas afines al MBA o si no cuentas con la experiencia profesional. ¿Por qué existe el MBA Foundation? Porque es un curso propedéutico que te va a dar la base en estos 3 puntos importantes con respecto a tu MBA. Vas a ver lo que es la escritura académica y de negocios, vas a ver matemáticas cuantitativas, que es una forma muy nice de decirle a estadística, y vas a ver teorías y conceptos económicos. Sabemos que muchas veces puede ser que no los hayas estudiado como tal en una licenciatura, pero que tu experiencia laboral te haya dado estos conocimientos. De manera que esto también se tome en consideración. Ahora bien, que si necesitas tomar el curso propedéutico porque el comité de admisiones así lo considera, ya que ve que tienes alguna deficiencia en estos 3 términos, no lo veas como algo mal, al contrario, es algo que te dará las bases para que en un futuro te vaya a ir mejor en tu MBA. Esto es solamente cuando sentimos que no tienes el conocimiento necesario en estos 3 puntos. Muchos estudiantes que ya empezaron su MBA y que tomaron el curso propedéutico realmente han visto que esto los ha ayudado a que tengan unas mejores calificaciones, ya que se desenvuelvan mucho mejor en el programa.
And also for applicants applying for the MBA specifically, there are additional documents that aren't necessarily required to apply, but certainly help you in terms of whether you're approved for the MBA and then also whether or not you have to do foundations. And so these are additional documents that you can add to your application to let us in admissions know your level of business experience and knowledge. The first 2 are standardized academic tests. These, you've probably heard of them, the GMAT and the GRE. They're very common in North America for universities for their admissions processes. We don't require them, but if you have taken them, then we do appreciate and we do recommend that you do provide them. Specifically for the GMAT, if you do have it, we're roughly looking for above 500, and above 550 is perfect for us. Very common for our applicants to provide their curriculum vitae or their resume outlining their business experience. I like to tell people that it might be worthwhile to revise your CV before you send it to us, particularly because there is a difference between a CV that is used to try and get a job and a CV that is used to try and get admission into a university program. For us, I can say that my team specifically look at the job descriptions. So the job title and the job duration are of course important, but we really like your job descriptions, whether they're dot points or whether they're paragraphs, we do not mind, but for you to actually give us a good amount of information to explain to us what your work was. If you already have employment contracts or reference letters from your bosses, then that also works really well. And then the third type of documents that we can get are if you have any professional business designations or professional certificates, or you could also write a personal statement to outline what your business knowledge and experience is as well. So this all goes in favor for us to understand what is your level of business knowledge and do you need to do the foundation courses or not.
Perfecto, chicos. Estos documentos que pueden ver en pantalla no son documentos requisito para el programa, pero sí son documentos adicionales que se pueden presentar en caso de que, por ejemplo, tu solicitud haya sido procesada y se haya determinado que necesitas tomar el MBA Foundation, el propedéutico, y tú consideras que no es necesario. Con estos documentos que presentes, puede hacer un appeal, que puede ser una apelación para ver tu entrada directa. Estos documentos que puedes presentar, les reitero, son adicionales, no son parte de los requisitos para el programa, y es el GMAT, que es un examen bastante conocido en Norteamérica, con un puntaje 500 o 550, el GRE, o bien, en cuestión de tu currículum, el equipo de admisiones siempre busca, más allá de la duración y más allá del título, cuál es la experiencia que tuviste, la descripción del trabajo. También puedes agregar referencias de antiguos jefes, donde ellos mismos mencionen las habilidades que desarrollaste. Puedes incrementarlo más con certificados o acreditaciones de negocios y con un personal statement, que es justamente tu carta de apelación, donde mencionas por qué solicitas que se te tome en consideración para la entrada directa. Reitero, no son documentos requisito, pero son documentos que te pueden apoyar en caso de que tú quieras aplicar directamente.
So, Gabriella, it might be easier if you just skip to slide 14, because I've done something fancy here, as you'll see. Go through one by one, but I may as well just go to the end. There we go. Okay, so this is the admission. Oops,
sorry.
Back one.
That's
more. Okay.
Yeah, there it is.
So this is the admissions process. I think I like to go through this with prospective students because I think sometimes people think you apply, you get admitted, and then that's great. We'll see you on the first day. But it actually is a bit of a process to go through. And I don't mean a bit of a process isn't that it's hard to do, just to understand what the steps are. So it obviously starts with the submission of an application. And the documents that we are looking for are the application form, the passport, and your academic transcripts or your reports. If you are going for the MBA program, then we highly recommend you provide, if you've got them, the curriculum vitae, your GMAT or GRE, and your business designation. So as all the documents previously discussed on that slide. And for anyone who we deem to be appropriate for the program, they'll receive a letter of offer. The next important step is for you guys to accept that offer letter, and the way that you do that is to make payment of the deposit. This is a deposit that when paid, it does actually show that you, on your letter of acceptance, that you have paid this. You'll also receive a receipt from our finance department as well to confirm that we have received the amount and it's there in your account. I think it's important for people to know that the deposit is not a payment that you lose. So if you are successful in obtaining your visa and when you start your program, the money that you've paid in your deposit goes towards your tuition and term fees. Okay, so even though we might ask for a few $1,000s, and I know that's a lot of money for for people to pay up front, but I will say that you think of it as an investment. It does actually go towards your tuition later on, so no money is lost. And for people who are unfortunate and cannot obtain their visa approval, those people can apply for a refund, and we give 100% refund back as well. We do not keep any of it. So you have that assurance as well. So once you pay the deposit, you do get the letter of acceptance. And for those of you who aren't aware yet, you will need that to apply for a visa with Immigration Canada. The next step is obviously to apply for that student visa and obtain that study permit. I like to put this circle in red because this is a step that is actually outside of UCW, but it is a very important step for all applicants to know that they have to do before they can actually come to Canada and attend classes. There are a few documents that you'll get along the way. I'm sure you'll get more advice on this from the agency, but essentially you put in your visa application, you're going to get approval, and you're going to get a port of entry letter that you then bring as you enter into Canada to get your permit. Once you are here in Canada, we're going to welcome you to orientation. This is a week-long event that our Student Affairs Department do, and they cover a range of topics to help prepare you for your program and to prepare you for your classes. We go through a series of presentations to talk about your academic readiness, to get you to start thinking about study habits, what the study schedules look like, how to manage your study load around your private life and also around your work life for those who actually want to work. And we connect you with our current students as well. So we know that's very important for international students to start getting connected with people that have already gone through that step that you're currently going through, and they can give you a lot of advice as well because they've already lived it. And it's just a big welcome to UCW as well. And then following that, we also, or in conjunction with orientation, we also look at registration, and that is your final step. That's you signing your enrollment agreement with UCW and getting enrolled into the classes for your first term, and you are officially a UCW student.
Perfecto, chicos. Pues esta gráfica es el proceso de admisión. Empezamos por la parte en la que se entrega toda la documentación, que es la que ya hemos estado platicando. Los puntos en rojo son los puntos adicionales que hablamos en la slide anterior. Una vez que todos tus documentos han sido aprobados, recibirás algo que es la carta oferta. Es la carta que la universidad está dándote para ofrecerte un lugar en nuestras clases. De ahí tú deberás aceptar esta carta oferta. ¿Cómo la aceptas? Haciendo el pago de tu depósito. Este depósito, chicos, no lo vean como un pago adicional. Al contrario, forma parte del costo total de tu programa y digamos que es un adelanto en la colegiatura con el cual vas a reservar tu lugar. Este pago de depósito te ayuda para dos cosas. Uno, para recibir tu carta de aceptación, que es la carta donde la universidad acepta que entres, y que es la carta que tú deberás de presentar a migración para hacer tu proceso de visado. Adicional a esto, el pago del depósito te sirve porque se hacen tus recibos de pago, que también es una parte fundamental que deberás de entregar a migración para poder generar tu visa de estudio y tu permiso de estudios, que es el punto 3. Este punto está marcado con rojo porque es un punto que es ajeno a la universidad, es parte de migración, pero es una parte clave. En caso de que tengas negación de visado, se hace reembolso de tu depósito. El personal de Mundo Joven puede apoyarte con todo lo que es la solicitud de reembolso. En caso de que sea aprobado, de aquí ya pasamos a la parte de la orientación. La orientación es una semana antes de tu fecha de inicio y aquí tú vas a conocer todo lo necesario en cuanto a tus programas, en cuanto a la universidad y en cuanto a cómo tomar clases. Aquí también se revisa la última documentación pendiente y se hace tu bienvenida a UCW. Al mismo tiempo que tenemos la orientación, se hace el registro. El registro es el registro de tus materias, el cual se hace online a través de tu portal, donde se te presentan cuáles son las materias que debes de tomar y tú eliges el horario que mejor te acomode. Aquí es muy importante que esto se ve directamente con el equipo de registros, ya que ellos son quienes te pueden apoyar de la mejor manera. A partir de aquí, tú ya eres oficialmente un estudiante de University Canada West y sería el punto final de tu proceso de admisión.
Okay, and going back to the final step of registration, one important piece in that is to provide your official transcripts. So an official transcript is defined by us as a copy of your report an original copy of your report that is issued by your university or your high school and received directly by UCW without interference. And so the most common way that we like to collect these are in person, and we've set up these steps to try and make it as easy for you guys as students. We do obviously accept them in multiple other ways, but this is the most common one because we find it the easiest for students to fulfill. So what you can do is you can go to your school and ask them to issue an original copy of your transcript. You can then get them to seal it in an envelope, and generally we like that envelope to have the university logo on it or the school logo on it. But if they don't have their own stationery, they can actually put their school stamp on it. Okay, you can then collect this envelope in person, or you can have them send it directly to your home address in Mexico, and that's fine as well. But very important that you do not open it. Okay, when you receive that envelope, we say you pack it in your luggage, and then when you are going to arrive in Vancouver, and then obviously once you've settled yourself in and you're going to come to the campus, you can then bring it directly to the registrar's office. In which case we will then open up the envelope, and then we check the transcript and we mark it off as being received. So we find that the easiest. Now, we do also accept other ways. So sometimes you can have your school send it directly to UCW, and the address is on our website. And in rarer cases too, we do understand to try and be accommodating that there might be times too that they might need to send it an official copy electronically to us as well. And we do have methods of doing that as well. So if you're running into problems with your school in terms of getting these transcripts issued, it's always best to let the registrar's office know, because we will work with you to give you other options of how you can provide this document to us.
Excelente. El último paso, chicos, es que antes de iniciar tu programa de manera presencial, deberás entregar los transcripts oficiales de tu anterior institución, ya sea tu universidad o tu preparatoria. Aquí es muy sencillo, haces la solicitud a tu institución para que te den una copia original de tu transcript. Esto debe de venir en un sobre sellado y cerrado. El sobre debe de traer el logo de la institución o el sello de la preparatoria o de la universidad. Tú puedes ya sea recoger este sobre sellado, y por favor no lo abras, el sobre tiene que venir sellado y cerrado. Esto tú lo puedes guardar en tu maleta y una vez que llegues a Vancouver, presentarlo en la oficina de registros durante tu semana de orientación, ¿ok? Ahora, otra manera que puede ser factible es que tu universidad o preparatoria lo envíe directamente por correo físico a las oficinas de University Canada West. ¿Ok? Estas son las dos maneras más comunes. Sin embargo, si están teniendo problemas para que su institución se los emita, siempre pueden hablar con la oficina de registros para ver las diferentes opciones que se les pueden dar.
Thank you so much, Colby, for all this valuable information. This is so important for us. We do have our Mundo Joven admissions department, so we are here to help to our students to make this process easier for them. And thank you so much, Gabi, for your time. Thank you so much. University Canada West is the best option for our students, and we are happy to be here to help them to achieve their dreams.
Muchas gracias a ti, Bio. La verdad es que fue un placer para nosotros formar parte del Admissions Day. Estamos listos para todas las aplicaciones que nos manden. Recuerden que los asesores de Mundo Joven les pueden ayudar durante todo su proceso para que aprovechen las becas y promociones que tenemos ahorita. Thank you, Colby, for all your help and for explaining all the process to our students. I'm sure that most of the questions have been already solved, and if not, any agent from Mundo Joven would be happy to help them. So this will be all from our side. Thank you so much to Admissions, and thank you so much to Mundo Joven for all your help.
Muchas gracias, chicos, por todo su tiempo. Ahora, después de este tiempo de webinarios, gracias por permanecer conectados y por escucharnos. Ahora ya pueden comenzar su aplicación. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much once again.
No, thank you for having me. Cheers.
Bye-bye.